Hi guys, so in this video I want to talk to you about the different options you've got for recording audio on the Sony A6000. Since getting this camera it's been unbelievable for me. It's 2018 now. I wanted a relatively cheap camera that could do quite a lot. This camera's been brilliant. The one negative with it that really frustrated me was that it doesn't have an external mic input. So I've explored the different options that there are, and if you are happy to sync up audio, which isn't a huge deal, then there's going to be several different options for you. I'm going to run you through them here today. This that you're listening to just now is my favourite option. I don't yet know that because at the moment I'm still recording, but when I listen over in post I will decide which is my favourite, and whatever you're listening to just now will be that. So the first option you've got is just the actual audio from the camera itself. This will probably not be very great in terms of the quality, so I'll move on quite quickly, but it'll be useful to have this as a comparison for the other ones. So that little speech from the cut to that angle, that was your in-body microphones from the A6000 itself. The next step up from that is probably to use the Sony microphone that they offer. Now that's quite expensive, but the benefit of it is it does just sit right on top of the camera and it should allow you a slightly better quality of audio. So I'm going to attach that now and see if that improves my audio. Okay, so now you're listening to the audio from the Sony microphone that they offer that just sits on the hot shoe of the Sony A6000. Doesn't have any wires, don't need to plug it into anything, and it should improve the quality of the audio slightly over the in-camera microphones that there are on the camera itself. There is an option with the Sony microphone to plug it into an external recorder like a Zoom H1, which I will do right at the end of this to see if there's a noticeable difference in terms of the quality of the microphone then. And I will cut that into the next section that you see in this video so that you see that progression from the Sony microphone onto the next step with it. Okay, final test is with the Zoom H1 and the Sony microphone plugged into the side of the Zoom H1. I don't think this is going to be much use because it looks like the levels are really quite low despite me turning the Zoom H1 up to its maximum setting. So as I thought, this wouldn't be the best. Also, the other issue with using the audio this way is you'd have to come up with some sort of special rig to mount this, because that doesn't go into the little movo adapter, or at least I wouldn't want to risk jamming it in because you could damage the connections on the bottom. So one of the other options you would have is to simply use the stereo microphone that you get on either the Zoom H1 or the Zoom H4n. This right now is the Zoom H4n. I don't suspect this will be the best, but if you didn't want to have the wee rig and just wanted to mount Zoom onto your microphone, this is one onto your camera. This is one viable option as well. At the moment that is set at the 90-degree angle. It does open up to the 120-degree angle, but I'm not going to test that because you wouldn't be using that in a situation where you're speaking to the camera like I am here. And what you're listening to now is the Zoom H1 mounted on the hot shoe of the Sony A6000, and this is with no shotgun microphone plugged in, so this is the stereo microphone from the Zoom H1, and it is set again at 75, having done some pre-testing to see what level would be appropriate. The next step up might be to use something like a Zoom H1, and with the benefit of the Zoom H1 is you can plug in a shotgun microphone to it. So what you're listening to now is a Zoom H1 with a Rode VideoMic Pro, sorry, not a Rode VideoMic Pro, the Rode Video Micro attached into it. Now this is a very cheap microphone, shotgun microphone, but I have been incredibly impressed with the quality that you get from it from when I was using it on my Canon, and I really wanted a way of being able to use this microphone with the A6000 because I've got better lenses for that, and plugging it into the Zoom H1 has allowed me to do that. It just means I'm going to have to sync it up in post, and for this I've also bought this little movo attachment that sits in the hot shoe and allows two things to be attached onto it. So on one side I've got the Zoom H1, and on the other side I've got the Rode video mic. The reason I like this adapter is because it's solid and completely made of metal, it doesn't flap around as much, doesn't take up much space either. It's really quite compact, and so it gives you quite a small rig overall. The audio input, or the audio levels at the moment on my Zoom H1 are set to 75. I have used it in auto before, and I think auto will do a good job if you're just speaking one-to-one to the camera. But I'm trying to get into the habit of setting my audio levels because some of the things I'm going to be recording won't necessarily be a constant tone, so there might be some more increases and variance in the audio incoming to the microphone. So I'd rather set my level for that, make sure I'm a little bit under, and avoid too much peaking or any peaking. The final option for audio would be to use a lav mic, which I've got attached to me here, and this is what you're listening to now. The lav mic itself I've got plugged into, this is my Zoom H4n, which is a better quality recorder than the Zoom H1, although I would, if you're simply looking to lav somebody up, I would recommend the Zoom H1 over this. This one I actually bought predominantly for recording off a audio mixer, so something like at a wedding, if the groom's doing his speech, for example, and there's a DJ that has an audio mixer. With a Zoom H4n, I'll be able to plug into that and record what is coming through his audio system instead of having to lav everyone up that's in the wedding or trying to get away with using a shotgun mic. So, but the benefit of this is obviously you've got the microphone input as well on the back here, so you can use it like you would use the Zoom H1. And again, I've set my levels on this. They are a little bit lower though. I think it's at 35 for this with the lav mic. I just tested it, seeing where the levels were peaking with my voice, and peaking at around -6, which gives me a little bit of room to play with in post if I need to increase the level at all. The lav mic I've used for this is the Rode SmartLav Plus, and I've also got an SC3 adapter to be able to feed it into the Zoom H4n, but that adapter would also be needed to plug it into a Zoom H1 as well. I'll put links for everything, all the setups that I've talked you through today in the description box below. They will be affiliate links, so if you do buy through there, I'll get a very small commission at no extra cost to you, which would help me out. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with what my preferred option is out of the audio, and hit that like button if you find this video useful. Thanks for watching.